everyone and welcome back to my channel. It has been so long since I've made a video. I think the last video that I made was probably the 24-hour challenge with Mark and I. So we're definitely going to keep up the challenges because that was really good fun the last time. Been so busy recently and decided to book a holiday to Tenerife with our friends. It was a really last minute holiday plan. Been away obviously to Ibiza at the end of June. And we just really wanted to get another wee week away in the sun, and obviously wanted to get away with our friends this time just to do like a little bit of a couples holiday. So we had an absolutely amazing time and we got home yesterday late last night, so we have woken up this morning. Mark and I are both off all day today, so we're just gonna get back to basics, do a big food shop later on. I had planned to attempt a run today, but the weather is absolutely shocking and I'm still just feeling a little bit weak, just coming back from holiday, obviously drinking every day, eating loads of food, and I just thought today would be a perfect way just to completely relax, get my body back to normal, and then back tomorrow into work and I'll be back into my normal routine. So the main reason that I wanted to make today's video was basically just around healthy eating and how to get yourself back into routine after holiday, and especially for those people who have maybe fallen off the track or just lacking a motivation and are trying like to get back on track and just to continue like eating the way they maybe did before holiday, or once they're now home from holiday they have maybe the next couple of weeks nothing planned and find it a good way just to get right back into routine. I've always found that Mondays really help me. Today you can say, right, you know, I've ate all I wanted to eat all weekend and now is my chance to just start the week fresh, go out, do a big food shop, get all your meals prepped for the week and really just take it from there. So I will just show you just an example of my FitnessPal. I currently work off a 50-30-20 macro split, so I would eat 50% protein, 30% carbs and 20% fats. I find this is the best split that works for me, and I've kind of been eating like this for a very long time now, so my body completely understands what it's eating every single day. I'm quite a creature of habit, so I would eat the same foods nearly every single day and just try to keep my protein really high. Let me see if I can find a good example. This one's slightly off, but this is how I was eating before my holiday. I was still sticking with 50-30-20 split, but really increasing protein, maybe having like 1 or 2 protein shakes a day, just getting in like an extra 20 to 40 grams of protein per day. I find it just gives my body that real push to just feel really strong when you get on holiday and be comfortable in your bikini and things like that. So I know a lot of people work off calories, and obviously calorie counting is great, and if it works for you then definitely follow that, but I personally like to just see what my protein's sitting at, what my carbohydrates are sitting at, just so that I know a little bit more for myself. So this is what it looked like here. Ideally, whenever I am back tracking, that would just mean that all the meals that I've prepped for the week, all my snacks, all my drinks, everything is all put into my FitnessPal, and I just find it a really great way just to stay on track and actually know what you're eating. Mainly just for progress, and obviously, you know, once you get into a real swing of doing it every single day, you can kind of work out a rough guide. So if you know you maybe didn't want to track for like 3 days, you know roughly, all right, if I eat this, at least I'm getting this amount of protein, this amount of whatever, and you can kind of go off it that way. So at the moment, I have a half marathon coming up on the 22nd of September, which is the furthest distance I've ever done. I've mainly done 10k runs before, 5 10k runs, and the furthest I've ran is 8 miles, which I ran the Saturday before we went on holiday. I had planned to bring my training gear with me on holiday, but we were drinking every day, eating randomly at 10 o'clock at night, and I just kind of thought I would give my body a proper break, a good rest, and then come back obviously with bang on Monday, back into tracking calories and back into my normal exercise regime. When I'm training and I'm running especially, I am mainly running on my lunches at the weekend, which leaves me very short time obviously as my runs are getting longer. So I try to have all my meals prepped, ready to go, so as soon as I come back into work I can just ding it in the microwave, whatever it is, and bring it up to my desk and eat it at my desk. And I personally just find this the easiest way to obviously in your head know I'm training this day, this day, this day, this is what I'm eating, and then it just doesn't avoid any confusion. And something I really struggle with is obviously being a vegetarian, well, I'm technically a pescatarian. I would eat tuna, but I don't eat any other kind of fish, which obviously makes it a little bit more difficult for me. So when I'm on holiday, for example, I was eating breakfast around 12 o'clock every day. There's very limited vegetarian options apart from chips and eggs, so I was mainly eating baked potatoes with beans and cheese, or crepes with Nutella, things like that. And then we didn't really eat all day again until like 9-10 o'clock at night, which was usually another small meal, like in Indian restaurants, maybe rice and veg, or I had nachos, or I had bravas with sweet corn, things like that. But really, whenever you looked at what I was eating, it was very, very small portions and spaced out across the day. A couple of days we did have things like crisps and a few sweets, but yet then again they were very, very limited, and we mainly were just drinking most of the time. So whenever I actually came home last night, I just thought, you know what, just as a laugh, I'm going to jump on the scales to see like how I've got on. And I think like subconsciously in your head you think, oh, I've ate all this stuff, like I would never usually eat crepes with Nutella and crisps and chips every night, or nachos, and constantly drinking every night as well. So I'd actually lost half a stone on holiday just from eating at random meal times, and obviously not eating like the food that I would normally eat, very, very small portions and things like that. Me back on track now, and I wouldn't be religious and weighing myself. I just kind of thought I want to jump on, see what I'm at, just for starting the week fresh. I usually work off measurements, and I would get Mark just to do those with like a little tape measure, and we would write them down and just really keep an eye on it just for myself. I wouldn't be too focused on it, just as long as my clothes feel okay, then I can kind of guide it off that way. So definitely from today I'm going to go back into my 50-30-20 split, and we're hopefully going to take a trip to the Asian supermarket. As I followed the Sculpted Vegans Shred program last year, she would eat a lot of seitan and tempeh food. That is a really high in protein vegan source, kind of come in like a block and then you would cook it that way. But the macros are incredible in it, really high protein and super low fats and things like that. So we're going to take a trip over hopefully and see if I can get something to try out fresh for this week, because I was thinking I just really, really want to just go hard at it for a couple of weeks just for my marathon training as well, to ensure that I'm getting the right amount of protein, as that's something I really struggled with on holiday. Obviously as a vegetarian there's loads of options like chips and nachos and things like that, but whenever you actually look at the food that I would eat at home, it would be like meat replacements. So I would eat a lot of tuna, I would eat corn products and yogurts that would maybe have, you know, like 20 grams of protein in one pot. And obviously out there the stuff is just so limited. Even the protein bars, I think we only seen Bear Bells maybe in one shop, and at that time we just weren't feeling it. A really relaxing week away, not worrying about counting calories or when we were eating or what we were eating, and when we came back it actually didn't do any damage at all. So a lot of the time I know people go on holiday and they get very flustered, like, oh, I've put on so much weight, like, oh, I've been doing drinking beer, doing whatever. So, you know, just go away and enjoy yourself and worry about it when you come back, because that's your one chance to get a good break away and just do everything you want to do on the holiday. And in terms of drinking, I mainly stuck to gin and tonic on holiday, and I think that's probably how I haven't put on like a lot of weight either. Just, you know, when you're drinking gin and tonic, it's just a really fresh, nice drink and very low in calories as well. If there are any book fans out there, I am the biggest reader ever, and my problem is once I start reading I literally cannot stop. So I said to myself, no, not bringing any books on holiday. I get so sucked into books, but I snuck a book onto the plane because it was about a 4-hour 20-minute journey, and it was called You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, and it was by Sarah Manning. And it was honestly incredible. I read on the plane, and then on one of the nights I came back and read a few chapters just to finish it off. And on the way home I actually downloaded a book onto my mobile, which is something I haven't done in ages, but I actually really enjoy it. I'm not really a big fan of Kindles and things like that, but this book was really, really good. So it's called Sophie Ranald, It's Not You, It's Him. Such a good book. I really enjoyed it. So I read that on the plane on the way home last night and then finished it off this morning. Just gonna have a really nice chill day and just ease back into normal life as best as possible. So we're gonna do a big food shop and do a couple of the essential things that we need to do today, and then just have a really relaxing day. So I will catch you soon for our shopping. Just arrived at the Asian supermarket. We came to the one on the Ormeau Road and we've got a little companion. But yeah, we're gonna go in and see if they have either Satan or Tempeh, and then we are gonna grab a Boojum and go home. We'll see you inside. Look at all these flavours of noodles, there are so many. I usually eat is the nutritional yeast, and I've just found this. It's vegan bouillon powder, so it's kind of the same, but it's also instant stock and a delicious hot drink. Could be worth a try. This hot jalapeno sauce.
Ooh.
They're semi getting soaked, but the Asian supermarket was class. It was absolutely. It was massive, like it sold so much stuff. And the Tempeh that we had went for, they had the Tempeh but it was frozen and I just wasn't really too sure about it. Wasn't really sure how to cook it from frozen or if it would work. So just kind of left it, and you know what I was talking about, and then one guy did and said that they didn't sell it. So we ended up just getting a couple of little random things for the house, just for Mark's chicken and my tofu and corn. This is barbecue chicken fry mix. So this obviously has wheat flour inside, so instead of using things like Smash or normal flour and stuff like that, this is already pre-seasoned wheat flour, and whenever you cook your chicken or your corn products, then you would just like roll it in egg and then roll it in this fry mix after, and it would come out a little bit like salted chili chicken. I also got these noodles to try, and they're ramen flavour. So Mark picked this up. It's a spice bag and it is Chinese curry flavour. So we're big fans of Mayflower curry. If any of you Slimming World fans out there know what I'm talking about. So, you just obviously put your chicken into it and then cook it in the oven in the bag. My mum is the biggest hot sauce chili fan ever, so we found this hot jalapeno sauce. Nice on nachos as well. Got her that to try, and then obviously we love sriracha, so this one is a hot chili sauce with extra garlic, so it'd be nice to try just a different flavour. Even though we didn't get like what we originally came for, it actually ended up a pretty good trip, and we got lots of nice things to try just at home for our meal prep this week. So we're gonna head to Boojum now and get some lunch and then head home for a chilled afternoon. But yeah, we'll see you soon. We have literally just got back from our trip to the Asian supermarket and Boojum. So I just quickly wanted to show you a couple of things that I would kind of eat every day. This obviously is the tofu that I would use. Whenever I first became vegetarian, I really struggled with tofu because every time I made it, it was damp, and when you put it straight into the pan, it usually stuck. So the Tofu Co has the naked tofu, which obviously has already been pressed down and all of the liquid's been mainly removed. Obviously, if you are buying any fresh tofu, even put something like a heavy object over the top with a little bit of kitchen roll, and then the water will just come out that way. So I mainly, like a lot of people, struggle with tofu quite a lot because it can be really hard to cook with. So what I would usually do is drain the little bit of excess water just from the packaging, and then pop it in the pan with a little bit of coconut oil and fajita spices, and just let it really cook until that it's so firm and crispy, just sort of like the same texture as I suppose meat would be. I love, like as well, that would go alongside the tofu is the nutritional yeast. Like sprinkling that over the top just gives it that like real like nutty sort of cheesy flavour. See, it's super high in proteins. Yes, you're talking like maybe nearly 30 grams of protein in a block, and it's very low in calories. Obviously it's higher in fat because of what it's made with, really. All good fats, and if you put it in MyFitnessPal, then the calories and stuff are really low, and it's super filling. It would be what I would eat if I was sort of having a quick lunch, didn't really know what to eat but kind of fancy something really tasty. So they are the corn cocktail sausages, and loads of my friends eat these who aren't vegetarians, and Mark actually loves them as well. So they are little cocktail sausages. To be honest, they kind of taste exactly the same as normal cocktail sausages. They're so nice, and you can either eat them cold or warm. So sometimes I would pop them in the microwave just with a little bit of ketchup, Really just the same. They are quite high in protein but also kind of high in fat as well, but you know, it's probably the same as just eating normal cocktail sausages, but I love these. It's like a little healthy quick snack. I was actually training a couple of years ago, my PT Ross had showed me this yogurt, and it's by Arla, and it's a Skyr Icelandic yogurt. And obviously now yogurts are becoming more and more popular because they're so high in protein and fat free, which is great. So my mum like stocks the fridge out in these all the time. They're usually like £3 for 3 in Tesco. So in one container there is 30 grams of protein. So Mark and I would usually just eat a whole one of these for breakfast, or split it into like having half in the morning and then half at night. But it's a really great way to get fast protein in with really low calories. There's vanilla, raspberry cranberry, there's honey, and I'm trying to think of I think there's maybe a blueberry one as well. Last night I got us both these 2 new PhD Smart birthday cake bars. Mainly would eat just grenade bars as they're our favourite, or Bearbell. But we really wanted to try this birthday cake flavour, and I tried it last night. It was actually really nice. Yeah, whenever you're going for a protein bar, we mainly just look at one that's the highest in protein, lowest in sugar. I'm at an office all day. It's just a really quick way of getting in protein and avoiding all of the office snacks. Usually if we keep like a protein bar in our drawers, it's just a really great way just to get something sweet that's also really high in protein, and it's not going to push you off track on your weight loss, or when you're tracking as well. And lastly, this is one of our favourite drinks. It's kind of more of like a pre-workout, but I usually have this in the afternoon just when you're kind of hitting a bit of a wall, getting a bit tired and feeling like that. So I would have a Monster usually with my protein bar, or just a little low calorie snack during the afternoon just to get me through to dinner time. So that is everything for today. We've had a really great, nice chill day, but also went and stocked up on a couple of few things, and we're just going to start our meal prep now for the week, into routine now that we're back from our holidays. But thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like me to do any other videos on any particular weight loss topics, or videos some of my vegetarian meals, just to give you just a little bit more inspiration and see how to pack your vegetarian meals just with high protein. I'm gonna go back to work tomorrow, and that is me fully back into my training for the half marathon on the 22nd of September. So wish me luck, and I will see you soon.